Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Mishiku, you can call me Cassie, Cassandra, whatever. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this amigurumi crochet pattern with chunky yarn, and I specifically made this pattern based off a knit grits pattern on YouTube. They used a 4-ply yarn, and I wanted to make it to where I could have the same pattern practically, just made of a chunky yarn. So the pattern can be built up very fast. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this tutorial. And please just don't mind my fingers or the paint on my hands. We're working with our best. So in the tutorial, I use a 5mm crochet hook. You can also use like if something else works better for you, you can use like a 6.5mm crochet hook, a 6mm, well, I wouldn't go over 6 actually, unless your yarn recommends such. Okay, so we will need a crochet hook, we will need a darning needle, a stitch marker, and a pair of scissors. You will also need white yarn, black yarn for the visor, and a main color yarn for the body and the backpack. Okay, so let's get started, and thank you so much for watching this video. To get started with our visor, we are going to grab our white chunky yarn, and please make sure it's chunky. This is what the pattern is intended for. And we are going to chain 9 simply. And you really don't have to leave a lot of a tail because this is going to be crocheted in. That is my air conditioning. Please don't mind that. So chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, now we are going to go into the second chain from the hook, right there, and we are going to single crochet 7 all the way across. And you should have 1 chain remaining. Okay, I single crocheted 7 across, and now I have 1 chain remaining. I'm going to single crochet 3 inside that chain. Inside that 1 chain, I single crocheted 3. Now we are going to flip to our back side, and we're going to go through these back loops right here, okay? Like that. I'm sorry if it's a bit hard for me to show. Sometimes it's not easy to crochet and show. So you're going to single crochet 7 all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the last chain over here, we are going to single crochet 3 inside that. So we should have a total of 20 stitches at the very end of this completed row. You're going to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet that you ever made. Not that you ever made, but that you made here in the row. And that is our first row completed. Good job. Okay, now we're going to go into row 2. So chain 1 and single crochet 7 in that chain 1 space, or in that first single crochet is going to go right where that chain 1 space was in that slip stitch. So I'll show you. Don't mind my cat. Okay, so where I slip stitch I go in, and there's the slip stitch, and then I chain 1, and then I go into the same space where I slip stitched, and I'm going to make that single crochet. If you feel more comfortable skipping that slip stitch part and chain 1, you can just go straight in with a single crochet, but I would recommend putting in a stitch marker. This is just the way that I've done it, so I don't have to use a stitch marker. And I like how the rows turn out. They seem a bit more cleaner to me, but you do whatever you would like. So go across with 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to single crochet and increase, a single crochet and an increase on the next, it was in the next 3 stitches. So single crochet, increase, so increase in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the next stitch. So we did 7 single crochets, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 more increase. Now we're going to go on to 7 more single crochets, and we're going to repeat the process pretty much. So 7 single crochets, I'm going to double check. It's my increase right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7. Then we're going to increase again. Single crochet 1 more time in the next stitch, and increase again in the next stitch. Slip stitch and that's the top of the first stitch that you made in the row, and that's the completion of our second row. I'm going to chain 1 again. I'm going to single crochet 24 all of the way around, and that should be the number of stitches you have on the second row is 24. So I'm going to single crochet all the way around 24 times, and I'll meet you at the last stitch. I made it to my last stitch, and you can see that we have 1 stitch left right there. So what we're going to do, single crochet that stitch, but we're not going to finish it. We're not going to slip stitch, or we're not going to finish the stitch off like that. We just go through that stitch, loop over, and that's it for that, because we're going to do a color change. So bring your black yarn. You can actually cut this now. Bring in your black yarn, and we're going to finish off that stitch with the black yarn. Just like that. We can tighten by pulling the white thread on the other side. Tighten the stitch and slip stitch into that first stitch that we made in the row. Make sure that you carry your thread, your 2 ends over to another chain 1, and we are going to single crochet again 24. So you should have had a 24 at the end of that row, and we are going to single crochet 24 again all the way around. So I'll meet you back at the end of the row. We're just going to slip stitch and cut off. And that's going to be the end of our visor, and I'll show you at the end. I wanted to come back and show you the visor when it's finished. So here it is. And I wanted to show you how long of a tail I left for sewing onto the body. When I sew things onto amigurumi, I really like to make sure I have plenty of thread left to sew onto the body. It's better to have a lot more thread than you expected than to have less. So Yep, that is the visor, and we're going to move on to the next step.